Good night, folks. Welcome again to Mike and Mike. We're delighted that you can join us one more time to be with us and to share, each other thoughts. And remember, please like, share, and subscribe. And doesn't matter if you're not here on the panel. You can share your thoughts based on the discussion what we have and make your comments and so forth. Again, like, share, and subscribe. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into our show. As usual, this is our panel, and our first guest is Mr. King Tox in the house.
King Tox
in the
baby.
house, baby.
King Tox, baby.
And we have Prime Minister Khalees.
Prime Minister Khalees.
In the house. In the house.
Yeah.
In the house. And we're waiting for Baby Trump, a.k.a. Mike, in the house.
The
and as
intelligent
usual,
investor.
Intelligent investor. And as usual, my name is Mike. We welcome you again one more time to the garage, to Mike and Mike. The garage is Saturday show. So, yeah. So, gentlemen, what do you see on the market when it comes to, I think we want to touch a little bit about politics and some little bit about some financials and even maybe some techs and so forth. But one of the things I see that's kind of arriving with your boy Trump is that he's really going hard with Israel.
Yeah.
And
about time.
Yeah, he's not he's like telling Israel, listen, at the end of the day, enough is enough. No more dolly house business. This is enough. So I'm glad in a sense that, he's going there, and hopefully he doesn't pull this political rim where he's just doing it to just what is it? Like he's just doing it just to talk and bluff or whatever case, but he just followed through with it.
I don't think that's the case because a lot of people, let's put it this way, the Middle East has completely had it with Israel. They've never gotten along with Israel and the other countries in the Middle East. The only reason they've kind of stood down was because they had the U.S. as their backup, and we're no longer backing them up.
Right.
Like we were saying, Israel is that friend that, he's your friend, but he's constantly getting you into beef. He's constantly getting you into problems. They always want problems. And
I don't get it.
Yeah. And it's even where, even if you talk, if you go down to Brooklyn and you talk with, the true Jews, the Hasidics and things like that, they don't agree with Netanyahu. They don't agree in that Zionist belief. They don't agree. These are real Jews. They study Judaism. And Zion.
And they're not supporting what he's
They
doing.
don't support anything he does. They never have. So this is what I'm saying. The Zionists, the Zion, and mind you, a lot of people keep saying, "Oh, the Jew." It's not the Jews. It's a Zionist. Okay, there are some Jews that are Zionists. There are actually some Zionists that are not Jews. You understand? You got neocons, neoconservatives, things like that. They're basically globalists, but they're not. They're nefarious people. They're not good people.
Right. Right.
So the people like that's what I'm saying. Like with this whole the Talmud, the Talmud is the Bible that the Zionists practice. Okay. But what it is a distorted sense of Judaism. Because when you study Judaism, a true Jew, you don't read the Talmud, you read the Torah.
Right.
You understand? So there's a lot of things that in Judaism, a lot of these things, you're not supposed to steal people's land. You're not supposed to kill people, and then try to say it's in the name of whatever
their religion or whatever.
Religious deity. That's not. And then and people are realizing that Zion, finally 80 years later, but people are realizing that Zionism is a political belief. It is not.
Right,
a religious belief. The intelligent investor.
Baby
Trump,
a.k.a. in the house. Out of mercy.
He's fresh off a PGA Tour. Mercedes-Benz is sponsoring the intelligent investor. Wagwan, Mr. White.
He's stressed out. He's stressed so much out, man. He thought today was Sunday still.
Yo, I actually thought today was Monday.
How was it? It was a nightmare today. I was telling Mr. Porter the day after a holiday is always.
Yeah.
It's always crazy, right?
I thought today was Monday. I thought today was Monday. So when he called me, I'm like, what? He's like, what did he say? Did you hit the guys up? Did you hit the guys up?
No, I say if you hit Angel up or something, because I know I already talked to Justin.
What is he talking about?
No, but usually I'll text Mike. I said, we record tonight. Did it tell me, no, he hit Mr. Porter? I'm like, all right. So then I just hit Mr. Porter. And then I just assumed. But then I said, that's why I came late, because I was like, Mike might be late, because I know the day after a holiday is
gonna be
always a
crazy.
nightmare.
Yeah.
You were late.
Huh?
You were late.
I got here around like 8:30.
I seen him outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
We outside, baby. We outside. We outside.
100%.
Well, I guess
The
I'm
intelligent investor.
The intelligent investor. No,
I would.
no, you know why I call him that? Because he has this book. It's a book that Mike reads all the time called
he has
That's
this
the
green
title.
The
spanner.
Intelligent Investor. So that's why I call him that.
I have a lot of those books.
Yeah. No, and then he taught me a couple of things. Like, what was the ones? Remember the That's what I meant to tell you. One of my stocks split, but in a negative way, and like I don't understand what they did.
Did like a reverse.
Yeah, it was a 1 out of 20. So I had 180 shares, and I only have 9.
Yeah.
It's still the same.
Did a reverse split.
Yeah, it was a reverse split, and I
Right.
was like, "What the hell? I never heard of this."
Break that down, though.
A reverse split.
Yeah, it was AIFU. The
Let's say you have 20 shares of a stock before it split. Before it splits. So it splits. You have 20 shares. Did a reverse split. I split in 4. I did a reverse split. No, it goes back to 5.
So you lost money?
No,
I
you
didn't lose money.
any
I just lost shares. I think they downsized. No, because I noticed before when I had 189 shares of
It's
AIFU.
gonna be my homework later on to read.
Right? Yeah. No, listen. Mike also
It's
told
gonna be
me.
the same amount of money. They just did so it appears to be more expensive,
Yeah.
right? Or when they do a split, it appears to be cheaper, but it's actually the same.
It's the same exact thing.
Like when Amazon did a 20-1, it was like what? Came from like 4,000,
What's 20 to 1? What's that?
like probably 200.
That's a
Yeah.
split, 20-1 split. So if it's 20-1, if it's a 120 split in a good way, that means that if you had, what was it? If you had 80 shares, you
Or
had
you had-
1,600.
Let's say
shares.
you had 1 share Amazon. Like when I bought Amazon, it was all the way up there, for like $4,000
Yeah.
a share, right? I bought options though. I bought 1 option, and when that split, I got 20 options now. The price didn't change.
You just
It
split.
just appeared that you have more shares than.
Yeah, somebody had bought 100 shares of Amazon like 20 years ago.
I mean, I think we miss Amazon.
Yeah.
We miss Amazon because we were there and we saw it growing,
Right.
evolving.
It's always been increasing.
Yeah, so we saw that and we didn't take advantage of that.
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't really know anything about stocks until maybe until a few years.
I didn't know, but we should have known though.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, guys, we were what delivering stuff like something this small, right, in a brown packet. Next thing you know, we start delivering car tires,
Pallets.
Yeah.
everything.
Yo.
Well, remember, Amazon started in his garage selling books, and his wife is the one that gave him the money. Like his wife was the one that held everything down. paid the
Google
bills.
does the same thing. Yeah, it was
Apple.
in the garage. Apple
Started
same
in the
thing.
started in the
Started
garage.
in the garage.
Garage started in the garage.
Where the garage? I like that.
The garage started the garage.
Yeah. So what we talking about tonight?
We're talking about some financial, some politics and stuff like that, some little text. But you guys jumped on. My curiosity was this. What jagged my curiosity? Is it possible, or does the government? It's surprising I don't know this. The government have the ability to do investment, just like how you and I can do stock investment. Is that something legal where they can do? Because remember, you're talking about taking consumers' money, and just like what's the name from Chase wind up going to invest
Taxpayers' money.
Yeah, taxpayers' money in and lost everything, 200 and something or 100 and something million. So is it something that the government can do? Get involved of trading?
Yeah. I mean, you could. They should. They don't do it. I think they used to do it before. They don't do it anymore. Like, for example, like China. If you're starting a business, the government, it's a good enough business. Let's say Amazon or a Tesla, right? Instead of loaning you the money,
They invest into you.
Yeah, we become a partner. We invest.
Yeah.
And
So I can see that, but I'm talking about literally like you go and do stock trading. It's just like what you guys are doing. Does the government have the ability?
when you say the government, you mean like
You mean the actual U.S. government? Or
the U.S. government, not U.S. citizen, U.S. government.
the
yeah,
department?
Nancy Pelosi make
Yeah.
millions
Yeah, but-
millions of trading
Well,
stocks.
Yeah, but that's an individual. I think
that's
he
an
means like a
individual,
government
yes.
entity. Like
That's
basically,
an individual thing.
basically, I
Well,
guess
it's just like
with a government
actually,
agency.
she's not supposed to doing it.
No, she's not.
She's not supposed to do it.
Well,
No,
wait,
she's
who,
not.
Who controls like retirement
You mean
funds
like a-
and stuff like that? Who controls that? Is that the government?
No.
Invest in employees' money.
Well,
Like,
it depends. I'm like, you have Social Security. That's the retirement arm for the government.
You have Social
But
Security,
then what it is, you have
401k.
you have various pensions.
What
Like,
about like TSP retirement?
well, that's government. That's federal.
Right, and they invest those money.
Yeah.
Investing into what?
Into
Different
whatever
stocks.
they're yeah.
Stocks?
They
Yes.
don't. Maybe bonds.
More so
Government
bonds.
I
Yeah,
think
'cause-
it would probably come down to some ethical stuff.
That's a great
If
question.
the government,
Well,
I
if
mean,
the government, you have to remember they regulate them. But see, somebody like, but then in the end, but then you have people that work for the U.S. government, like Nancy Pelosi, who's basically doing insider trading.
right, but she's not supposed to be doing any
she's
trading.
not.
No government, what I know,
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
no government officials
She was
should
insider
be
trading.
involved in the stock market.
no, they shouldn't.
They
be
should
because
not.
because they were able to. What do you?
Yeah.
do?
First-hand knowledge about
They first,
Yeah.
their first analogy.
Well, that was the whole thing with Pelosi. Pelosi wasn't necessarily investing. What she would do is that, say, for instance, remember, she's a politician. So say if they had a certain lobbyist, like there was a certain lobbyist that was lobbying her, instead of paying her cash, say if there's a lobbyist for a big tech company, and they're about to, release their IPO on the stock market or whatever.
Mhm.
The way they would lobby, they would hire their lobbyist to go to Pelosi, and basically what lobbyists do, they just bribe people all day, but they don't bribe people with money. They give you stock options.
Just like that judge where his kid gets scholarship to rich guys pay
Exactly.
off. What's his
Kickbacks,
name again?
Flames.
Oh, so it says according to Google,
Well,
my favorite company. He said yes, the U.S. government can invest in stocks, but not in all circumstances. While individual federal officials like Nancy Pelosi are allowed to trade stocks.
yeah.
They are allowed.
Yeah, no, they're allowed to trade, but what it is, she had a lot of insider information.
Yeah, I mean, that's
anybody's
why
allowed to
illegal.
trade, but you have to do it.
Not
You have to
anybody.
do it
Her
the fair
husband-
way.
They should be illegal to train. They
Her
should not
husband
allow.
trades.
Yeah, her
Well,
husband
we can
trades.
see
Her husband's a
where
big trader.
But we all know where the information comes
Coming
from.
from.
Of course.
Absolutely.
So it's not her trading then. It's her husband.
I mean, it's her, but
It's her too, but then what it is, the
She
other
using
stuff.
her husband as a gateway to do the
Yeah,
trading.
so then this way, yeah, because they're
It's
greedy.
it's like putting your assets in your mama's name.
Exactly. I mean, she
Like
should have
Mike
been.
said, we all know where that information's coming
See,
from.
somebody like Pelosi should have been regulated. Like somebody like her should have been regulated very heavily. What are you doing? Like
So
you
it
need
says-
to watch what she's doing.
the government itself can invest through treasury securities.
Yeah.
Right. Case in point. Absolutely.
So like basically our TSP, we're all federal employees, and we have TSP. TSP is basically the federal version of 401k. So our money, they take it
Every now and then it goes up.
and they
goes
invest
down.
it. It goes up, it goes down.
So this is why we know it's Nancy Pelosi, because she have to report those trades. So when she makes a trade, she have probably 30 days or so to report
to
it.
report it,
Right.
but she don't have to report it.
No, yes, you
No,
have
she
to.
does.
Yes.
You have to.
Otherwise, it's an
Legally, yes,
it's an
but
SEC
again,
violation.
Just like, for instance, you're supposed to, what is it?
Disclose your tax return.
You're supposed to do your tax return, right? But
Yeah.
you don't do it.
No, she have to. She has to.
Because when especially remember she has public office. So what happens?
Yeah,
that can,
she's not supposed to be trading in a sense.
Nah,
but
she
that's
can
what the
trade, but it
report
has to be
says.
fair. It
She
has to
can
be
trade, but
it
I
has
mean,
to be fair. But what it is, she does have to report because otherwise she could lose her seat.
how is it going to be fair? These
is-
guys
is
have
it-
control.
Right. Is there
No,
some-
you're
can't be
absolutely right.
fair.
But what it is, it's supposed to be. But that's what I mean. That's the hypocrisy.
These are
Or that's
hypocrisy.
like that's the nonsense that goes on.
Right. Like I don't want to get too personal, but
Uh-huh.
in Belize,
Mhm.
the government official owns one of the gas stations. He's supposed to be controlling prices,
And he owns a gas station.
That
That's a
doesn't sound
monopoly.
right.
That's an antitrust.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
and everybody thinks it's okay.
Well, it's not. It's not okay. But what it is,
it's in his best interest for the price to stay out.
Yeah, but you also got to remember the government in Belize. Your government's very corrupt, sir. So this thing, that's just what it is.
I wouldn't draw a conclusion on that.
Mr. Calais.
What,
Don't agree with him, Angel.
what's Mike word? Allegedly.
Allegedly, right?
Exactly.
Allegedly. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think I don't think overall the government should get involved because again, as what you said, they have inside information. I mean,
definitely.
they're the people also regulate the
influence.
stock market, so they get first information.
Yeah,
on
I
hand.
wouldn't say that because remember, most of these information are not really coming to government first. For example,
It's going to the private corporations first.
right, like a Goldman Sachs or J.P. Morgan Chase.
You gotta remember.
They'll get first and they'll get information first. Reason being, they have someone reporting back to them in or at the location in real time, right? Let's say you have someone in Europe, something big is going on in Europe. They have someone in Europe at the location or at the factory paying attention to what's going on. So as soon as the information comes out, they're there, they get it first. Then they call and report it back to like Goldman Sachs or J.P. Morgan.
But
Chase.
here, I'm looking at it from a different side angle because remember, the government is the one that regulates them and control how they move, right? So if these guys are remember, the government has to be involved to make sure that there's no fraud, there's no inside trading, the whole stuff going on. So technically, the government should be the filter.
But that is insider trading
If what?
Yeah.
All right, so if she's there and she's getting the information first, right? And she's a government official, and then she goes ahead and trade, isn't that inside information?
Yeah, but that's what they're doing. Excuse me. That's what they're doing up to this today. They're doing these things. They have some colleagues or some connection.
I love Nancy Pelosi.
Wait a minute.
Right,
I'm not a fan of Nancy Pelosi.
So something is wrong. Remember
gotta
the first or second show where we started Mike and Mike. He didn't like Nancy.
He didn't like Nancy.
He didn't like
Oh,
Nancy.
I know.
So now
I'm not a Nancy
he liked
Pelosi
Nancy.
fan. I'm not a Pelosi fan. He's being politically correct.
Check it.
Yeah, it's one.
I'm not a Pelosi fan.
How you like Nancy now?
Huh?
How you like Nancy? The second Mike and Mike show.
Because Nancy is a trader, and
So
so you have these guys that follow the Nancy Pelosi trades. And whenever she buys something, they go along and buy with her.
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah, so whenever she buys something, whenever she buys a security or a stock,
And then they buy it.
they buy.
Yeah, you follow
So they're
her.
following her.
Right.
Because she got some stuff.
Yeah.
She got some news.
Yo,
So they know that if they follow her, they would be 90%
Right.
on point.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
Like, right, it's like
Inside
being,
trading
Right, it's
again.
like being in heavy traffic. You see a fire truck, and when the fire truck goes, you follow that shit.
And you
cops
follow
or
the
the
you follow the
ambulance.
fire truck.
You follow. I do that too on the FDR. I follow behind them when they come down in heavy traffic.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's the reason I like Nancy. If Nancy buy, she have some information,
And so
some
you're
good
gonna-
information.
Absolutely.
You see the hypocrisy.
See, I just buy the cheap, crappy stocks because I'm hoping 10 years down the line.
No,
You know,
you
they're gonna
never
be
want
worth
to
some
buy
money.
it cheap. If it's cheap, it's cheap for a reason.
But maybe 10, 15 years from now,
No.
it could be something else. You never know.
Like what?
Let's put it this way: I have 3.5 million shares of Shiba Coin. You never know; they might start, trading Shiba Coin to buy, oil from each other or something like that.
What is she?
In the global, it's a meme coin.
Which lifetime is
All
that?
right. So instead of doing that, why not buy Google stock?
Because it's too much money.
Huh?
It's too much money.
How is too much
What is
money?
too much money?
Google stock is a lot. Google stock is what?
How much?
Like
what,
$170.
$50?
Something.
$100.
For what?
Shit,
Per
I
stock?
can't- Yeah, I can't even get
Per
nothing.
share?
I can't, per
so
share.
You
Because
buy,
you're
buy
waiting-
one each paycheck. Buy option.
That's what everybody keeps telling me, but I'm like, I don't know. That doesn't seem.
Just take out $100 and something out of your paycheck and just go buy a stock.
It feels better that I have 3.5 million shares of Pepe.
Which probably
What is it worth?
They're not worth a lot.
I couldn't believe
My Pepe my Pepe coins. I got 3.5 million shares of Pepe coins. That might be worth 1/10 of a cent.
That's a lot to be holding on to.
No, because look, let's put it this way: if I hit a penny on 3.5 million shares, that's $35,000.
if you hit a penny.
If I hit a penny,
What are the
if I hit a
But
penny
you
share,
want to make investment and open and praying, You want to make investment based on fundamentals, based
Yeah.
on some information, even if you could get inside information.
well, yeah, well,
Right.
I might Mike's he's a lot smarter investor than I am, but I figure I start this way and then see.
Yeah, that's why he started running with Nancy. You noticed that, right?
What you mean? He wasn't running with Nancy.
Of course, he wasn't running with
He
Nancy
said he's
before.
following her.
No,
he's following her cheat sheet.
That's how I knew about Nancy Pelosi.
And that's how
I know she was the Speaker of the House, but before that, people always talk about her trades.
Yeah.
Like, she makes 200, 300, 400, 500%.
Yeah.
And she's investing big.
She's worth like $290 million or something like that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You never heard Donald Trump said,
All from investments.
oh, she gets a salary of what? How much is it? 700,000?
No, not even. I think her salary is $185,000 a year.
Yeah, 'cause it can't be higher than the
It
president.
can't be higher than the president. The president is
180
what, 200, right?
No, president is
$400,000
A year?
$400,000
No,
a year.
that's over. Oh, you're talking about.
The
Because when
president?
Barack,
Annually, yeah.
but then again, then Barack, because when Barack going, it was like 100 and something.
No. When Barack, when he was president, it was $400,000 a year, and then every president gets $166,000 a year for the rest of their life after they're done.
After that, I know that part. But
Sounds like good
But
business.
remember, it's prorated, so it could be more now.
Sounds like good business.
Huh?
it sounds like good business, right?
That sound like a get, bro.
So it says what?
You
U.S.
just got to become a president one time.
Yeah, I'm not white, bro.
The U.S.
I just look white. I'm not white. They ain't making me president.
Yeah, the
Don't blow
U.S.
my head off.
annual salary in 2025 is 400,000.
Annually
400,000.
425.
In addition, they receive 50,000 for allowance. So I guess
50 grand for allowance plus the 425.
Yeah. No, and on top of that, remember,
On
that
top of that-
425, they're not spending anything.
Yeah, they're not.
Like, he's not spending
They
no
live in-
money.
they
Like, they
buy
live in a White House.
Food,
Yeah.
everything,
They're not spending,
bills,
they're not
everything.
spending, everything
That's
is
just
paid
going
for.
straight directly to their bank
That's
account.
to their pocket or to wherever they got it going to. With Trump, I'm like, Trump hides a lot of money. Everybody keeps thinking that he's broke. He's not broke. That man is far from broke.
He hides. Listen, this guy
Trump hides all his
swindles-
bread.
He swindles money like almost water running out
As
of
he should. It's the American way.
Yeah, it's the criminal way.
It's
Yeah.
the American way.
What's crazy? They put that stuff in the trust. And once you put,
Yeah, when you put an irrevocable trust, can't touch it.
So many
Mike,
times.
Yeah. Everything's in an irrevocable trust. Irrevocable trust, they can't touch it.
Yes.
You can put everything.
Well, that's what what's the name? The richest country family in the world are. What's they call again? Some of them die out already.
Who, the Waltons? The people that own Walmart?
No, not Walmart. Not now, but their family from back then. I mean, they still have family member that's one the Rockefellers.
You want the Rothschilds.
Yeah,
You want the Rothschilds.
Rockefeller.
the Rockefellers.
Oh, you
Two
mean the
different
Rockefellers?
Yeah, the
Two
real
different
Rockefellers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they put their money in.
They do what they do. They create.
Irrevocable trust.
They
Right,
create.
they have their own bank.
They create
Do
another
seven,
old
right?
bank.
Yeah.
Which and put their trust in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they're part of, like, say, from some member,
billionaire mentality.
how these guys architecture this thing is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a billionaire
Like once a
mentality.
member die, they borrow money from that
trust.
that
Yeah.
trust and reinvest it into another trust or something of that
Exactly.
sort that has these. I
That's
was
how you
looking at
shield-
this thing the other
That's
day.
how you
man.
shield your money. That's
I'm
an
like, these
irrevocable
guys
trust.
are
And a lot of
brilliant.
people don't educate themselves. Like, to be honest with you, like you see, like, we hear all these stories about lotto winners and how they end up going broke in 3 years. Every single person that wins the lotto should automatically put their money in a trust.
No, I win the lottery that much money. I mean, I definitely, at least, let's
You
say
gotta
if I
protect
get,
it.
I got
Let's say,
like
you know,
50 mil.
I say wealth. You can't obtain capital and be wealthy. You know, yeah, it's like a mindset thing. You know,
Yeah.
so you have to be like wealthy mindset.
Yeah.
You know, you have
In
to have
order
like a rich mindset
In order to retain
in
it.
order to be rich.
Yeah.
Or to retain the capital. But if you have a broke mindset, you're just gonna go spend it all.
You're going to spend it. Exactly.
Get
Because
it?
you're not
'Cause
used to it. You
remember,
don't
a lot
know
of
how to
people
manage it.
win the lottery, right?
Mhm.
And then go broke in what, like 5 years?
3 to 5 years. They go completely insane.
Right.
But you know, the funniest thing is that I don't know if it's something that I would have this willpower to do. There was this lady, a family actually, a husband and wife. They won, I think this was, if my memory served me correct, maybe 3 years or 4 years ago. They won the lottery. I think they were from either Washington State or Ohio, somewhere down deep down south, or Texas. They
Yeah.
won about 400 something million. And they said after a while they went and gave it away because they were getting too much. Their life changed drastically.
Yeah.
They were also getting just threats, but
Death threats.
it's just like the lifestyle what they want to live.
They want to be ordinary.
They were
regular.
forced to go a different route.
Yeah. They
And
probably lost all their
wind up-
friends.
Yeah, they wind up giving it everything away. I'm like,
for a peace of mind.
Yeah, I mean,
For-
I couldn't do that.
yeah, I'm not
No,
giving away.
no,
I'm not giving
no, I
away
can't.
anything. I'm
There's
not giving
no
away my
way.
money. But then on the other hand, I'm not telling anybody I have that money neither. But unfortunately, with
I mean,
the lotto,
you can't hide it.
when you win that much money, even if you try to stay anonymous, which I think is, you should stay anonymous. It
You
always
can't
gets
stay
out that you
anonymous.
won. Oh, it was such and such a person that won $600 million. I mean, if that was the case, I mean, if it was to happen to me, I'm not telling anybody.
The
anything.
thing is, you have the picture also on the database. So when you go into
Well, you got to remember, when you go take it, you can wear like a chicken mask and stuff like that.
that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Not gonna do that.
Yeah, when they give you that big check,
What's
you
the
wear a
objective
chicken
of the-
mask,
what's
and
the
you just
object-
put M. Porter.
What's the objective of them? You going to take pictures. They're gonna add you to the beta. But one of the workaround, which I understand, which one of my brilliant member, just like Mr. Smart Investor here, he said, what you can do, you just open up a business and
Intelligent investor, sir.
you can open up a business and you fund it into the business. Now, yes, you just like you open up a business bank account.
Self-proclaimed.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed.
Yes.
But you still have to represent. You
Self-proclaimed
can have a
guru.
lawyer now represent you to go get that funds to deposit in that business account. So
Yeah, you
your
would make
face
yourself
is
a
off
trustee.
Yeah, your name is out the picture. Your face is out the picture at the end of the day. And then once you get that, you probably could just now reverse everything after and put it in. But
Well, like I said, the lot.
400
Let's
and
put it this
something
way.
mil?
That's pretty brilliant. Though.
You do
400 and something mil.
you
to
do
give
realize the
away?
lottery's rigged, right? All those winners are already picked ahead of time.
What?
The lottery's rigged.
Of course it's rigged. Come on.
Wait,
I
no,
mean,
no.
New York buy the most tickets.
Huh?
Yo,
New Yorkers
New-
buy the most
New
tickets.
Yes.
York alone, they make at least if they giving away like say 100 million.
Right.
When New York finished buying tickets, it's about 1 point something billion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Well, the lotto was created. The lotto was created as another. It was basically the lotto was created as another tax scheme. Because remember, if you win $400 million, you're not getting 400.
Right,
You're getting
right.
about 250.
You're getting about 200,
Right.
and then whatever state is getting the
The state
state
is
and the
get-
federal
the
government
federal
is
is
splitting that. Is splitting the other 200. So that's the reason why the whole lottery was invented. It wasn't necessarily to. I'm like they painted up. Oh yeah, you can win all this nonsense, but it's really just another tax scheme.
So to think about it, for that lady or that family to walk away with 400 and something, that mean they got the bill was like, or the winnings was like 1 point something then. They got to be in the bills.
What do you mean?
1 point what?
For them to walk away with 400.
They walked away.
400
They
mil.
walked away with 400 million
Yes,
cash.
That's what they gave away. That's what they got.
So
from
they
the
probably
ladder.
won about
So
800 million. They probably won like 800
800.
million.
I probably think they won a
Or maybe
bill.
a billion.
A bill.
But if they won $1 billion, they always mention that they put like big. But most likely, if they had 400 million after taxes, they probably won about 800 million.
And then within the same breath, what was that other guy there was giving away? What's his name, man? It was another rich guy was giving Microsoft. This was a few years ago. It's kind of old news, but I don't understand it. It's like he was giving away most of his wealth to Microsoft. Now it's like I'm sitting here as a billionaire, looking at this other billionaire, and like, you know what? Here's all my money.
No, I don't.
'Cause that's
think
a flim
he's
flam.
not giving the individual, no, it's given to the company. Let's say, for example, right?
I know
You
what
have a company that's doing research for cancer,
all this money, Mike.
right?
All this money.
And yeah. And your daughter or your wife or someone in your family who's close died from cancer, and you had all this money, so you're gonna donate it to the for research purpose, right? To see if they could come up with a
Yeah.
You don't
A
need
cure.
so much billions or millions of dollars. I mean, listen.
Well, you got to remember,
My
not all
thing
that
is-
goes to the research. You got a lot of that.
That's
Is
my
a lot of
point.
that is a money
That's
laundering
what
scheme.
point I'm gonna make.
Yeah.
That's exact. You're hitting the nail right on the head. That's exactly
But we
what
can't
these
prove
guys
that.
will do.
I'm like, we know that, but we can't prove it.
Allegedly.
Yeah, we
Allegedly.
know that, but we can't prove that. How do we
Allegedly.
know that? Because how do we know that? Because if it was me, I'm laundering money. So yeah, it's like they're doing the same thing.
Allegedly.
That's what I heard.
So I've heard.
So I heard.
Yeah.
Hello.
But yeah, it's good to donate money to stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's one of the things why
Research.
I figure I mean I have a hard time when some of these rich folks and they finding these other rich folks. You have so many entities out there that can help others, that can help people, help researchers.
Mike, they don't want to help, bro.
They
That's
don't-
how the
I
rich
mean,
stay
I agree.
rich. You got to keep it. That's like if all of us,
Who's living under a rock now?
if we're all making money,
What?
Who's living under a rock?
if
I
we're
don't
all
know.
making money,
It's
if
crazy.
we're all making money, then I'm only gonna make sure that this money circulates
Stay within the rich.
within that money.
And
Yeah, we might have a friend over there that he's mad cool. He's real cool dude. He's
Give
only
him a-
got
give him-
$5 in his pocket.
Tell me a little
He's
Bo.
not allowed in my circle, man.
He's not-
Because he's not adding anything. Oh, but I'm a nice guy. I don't give a shit. Like you're not. This net worth right here is $15 million. So this is what I'm gonna keep circulating. You can keep your $5 over there. You're not doing nothing, man. You're not bringing any. Now, if you bring something to me of the something
Right.
tangible
Substance.
Where we could go
that
from,
can make me some money.
from 15 to 30 million.
Yeah. Now, if you bring me something I can make some money, be like, okay, you can come in. I'm gonna take a large percentage of your idea, but yeah, you can come in. That's just how it works, man. It's the nature of the beast.
It's nature corrupted beast.
Yeah, no, that's just what it is. See, a lot of people, oh, but that's not
Mike
humanitarian.
says
There's
how
no
the rich stay rich.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
it's already preached about already. The rich will be rich. The rich gonna get richer and the poor are gonna get poorer.
Yeah, that's
So
just what it is,
it's
man.
prophesied already. So I mean, I expect that. It's just the fact that they go out and they bring this facade talking about they want to do
But
this.
the
they
poor
wanna do
will inherit the kingdom of God, right?
well, that's
Yeah,
what,
the
Wait. Break
You're
it
gonna
down.
have-
I'd rather
listen,
have the money. I'd rather have the money.
you're gonna have rich people too in
That's
heaven.
what it says, right?
No,
the poor
no.
will
The poor will
inherit
help
the-
you, but I mean, it's not. It's in the contents of it means everyone.
You never
You're
heard that
gonna
before?
have. Ask him what scripture is that or what text in the Bible.
Oh, how you pitch that in there just now.
I'd rather have all the
No,
money.
he said it was prophesied that the rich will be richer and the poor.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
but it doesn't mean you're gonna poor. You have poor
Right,
going
what-
to
what
hell
is it,
too.
right? The meek will inherit the earth.
You have poor going to hell too, and you have rich going to hell. Just like yeah, the rich also going to heaven, and the poor, some poor going to
No,
heaven.
no, the rich do not go to heaven.
Why? Where you get that from? Who you
They
make
don't.
What do you mean?
They're already in heaven.
Don't you understand? The rich don't get to go to heaven
What
because
is-
don't you understand? Because they did something
What?
ungodly to acquire those
No,
riches.
no. You have
pretty sure-
innocent rich people out
No,
there.
there's no such thing as
With
an
a
innocent
lot of
rich person.
Ethicality.
Let me put it this way: you have good human beings out there that wind up into wealth, and how they got it legally and pure.
They didn't get no
Yes,
such
the
thing.
percentage may be like this,
No such thing.
maybe like this, but you have out
There is
there-
no such thing as innocent rich person. Same way you
you
can't
talking
trust.
about?
Same way you can't trust a girl with a big butt and a smile. There's no such thing as an innocent rich
This
person.
guy is on a different rampage. Yo.
What do you mean? I'm
Right,
being
right,
real.
right. It's like,
No, you got people out.
generalizing everybody.
Okay, so let me ask you this question
What?
then. You think everyone out there is a cheater?
Yeah.
No, see.
Part of the problem.
Well, not everyone. Not everyone.
See, now here,
Not everyone, because we're broke. So why? Because we do things the right way.
It doesn't matter if you're broke or not. You still can cheat.
Wait,
But I'm saying, do
Hey,
you?
tell them to speak for themselves.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because we do things the right way. But no, in order to get ahead, you have to cheat.
You have to cheat.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that you have to cheat.
Well, that's because
But,
you,
and the point is what I'm
that's
saying.
because
is
you
that
live in a
you
fancy
have,
world.
You have
Mike,
people
Mike,
out
Mike,
there.
I agree
Mike.
with you.
Mike,
The
thank
first
you,
I
Mike.
disagree with
Thank you,
Justin, I
Mike.
agree with you. Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
oh, I'm just the only one that's corrupt.
Yeah, you're the corrupted one over here.
Yes, I am.
No, you heard his name, King
Talks, man.
King
Cox.
Tox,
Baby.
baby.
He looked at the mic and the camera and said, "Yes, I am."
I can't wait till I'm rotten and rich.
Oh, when he get rich, he's gonna, man. What he's seen doing right now is like when you're
nothing.
trying to strike a match.
Who was
All
that?
I know is that.
Him, King Tox.
All I know is that all them pretty,
Yeah, if he's this,
all them,
if-
all
if
them
he
pretty
is
Guyanese
good-
and Trinidadian women, they better run for cover. I'm taking all the pretty Guyanese women.
You be the
you
you
can-
be
can-
the
hey,
most honorable
hey.
rich guy.
Can you manage? Because they have white liver, you know. They go right on the clock. I don't know if you can keep up with that.
That what happened?
They go right on the clock. I don't know if they can keep up with that. They have white liver, you know.
Talk about white liver.
They produce like right around the clock. Their enzyme or their what the word
Sex drive.
sex drive
like
is
a nymphomaniac.
at Pluto.
Oh, really?
Yeah, their sex
I
drive is
mean,
like Pluto.
well, if that's the case, you know, when I'm not dealing with her, then I just lock her in the basement until I want to deal with her again.
You'll take a 5 years break, right?
No, but on a serious note though,
Honorary Caribbean.
I think us, right?
Uh-huh.
Because I saw a clip on Instagram like yesterday. It said 100 black men versus 100 Mexican, right? And the
Yeah.
guy said no. Instead of that, 100 black men and 100 Mexican
Create a business together.
create
I love
a business.
that. Yeah.
Right.
That was a great idea.
I think we don't do things together. We don't unite. You know.
Yeah,
We don't
I
have
agree.
any structure.
Okay, so
So
before-
like you look at the Jewish community, and you look at like the Chinese, Asian, all these people, they're very structured. They have things together,
Yeah.
right?
You're
So
absolutely
we talk about being rich. We really don't want to be rich. And Christian talk about having faith and believing, and they don't want.
No, I mean,
No.
when it comes to that side, I can talk for that side, meaning that people, they live in this illusion because, as I said, if God says, I want the best for you, that means he also want you to be rich, right?
I agree.
Right.
He
So
wants you to be comfortable.
there's
Well, not necessarily, depending on what.
there is, I'm gonna clean it up. There
Yeah.
are some situations where are some individual where God don't see wealth with that individual because certain
disagree.
circumstances may
Choices.
drive them to. I mean, we all have choices, right? We all have choices, and sometimes we make the wrong choices based on certain things. Like, for instance,
We don't.
If
have
you-
we
if-
don't have choices. though.
if we have a group of people, let's say, you have a group of people here, and within the group of people, all they think about is drugs, robbing, murder, etc., etc. Now, you hanging around that group of people, right? You still have your free will of choice,
Yeah.
but it's called the power of influence. You can sit there. Remember, every one of us have a what they call a willpower. Now, my tolerance, actually the right word, tolerance. My tolerance could be 50 years. So I can sit in this group for the next 50 years and they don't impact me. They go out, murder, steal, robbing, and they don't impact me. After that 50 years, my tolerance, it passed my tolerance. I cannot support being
You said 50 years a
disciplined.
long time.
No, I'm just giving an example. His could be 5 years. It could
Yeah.
be 6 months. Yours could be 2 years. Mine could be
You
2
want-
weeks.
Let me debunk that, right? So Jesus flex with or go around with all different type of people. You call it murderers,
Rapers,
all these
criminals.
people, right?
Correct.
They didn't influence Jesus. Jesus influenced them.
Yeah.
That was the objective. I mean, you're looking about a supreme being.
Not saying you should hang out with
You're
with,
looking at a supreme being
idlers, you know,
comparing to
with idlers.
You're looking at a supreme being comparing to humanity. How you can define that? How you can do a comparison? God's willpower. Now, one of the purpose of God coming here is also to show us that we need God to depend on Him to accomplish our task. Okay. So, if Christ, Jesus, could not sin, all this spiritual thing is a joke, right?
Yeah.
If he could not sin. Okay. If the fact that he didn't have the abilities, like if he slip up or whatever the case may be, and then later on down he tell a lie or something like that, if that couldn't happen, right, that means all of this is a joke. All of this spiritualism, this spiritual church thing and go and pray is a joke. So the fact that saying that to say this, that Jesus could have sinned, but he did not. And the fact that why he did not, because he relied on a supreme power, which is his Father. Mm-hmm. And this is the example he said for us, that if you want to overcome, we could have all the willpower we want to have.
Yeah.
We could have all the discipline what we want to have. But if you're not tap into this higher power, for you to overcome and have obtained that willful power, you're going to fail yesterday. Simple as that.
Some heavy stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, my thing is the 100, coming back to your statement, you said 100 Mexican and 100
Black people.
Black.
Yeah.
Or were they supposed to combine together?
Yeah. Because initially they were doing 100 Mexicans versus 100 blacks, like fighting. And then somebody came out and said, well, instead of that, how about 100 Mexicans, 100 black, and we created business together.
So the black and the Mexican is plan. They want to unite them.
Yes, as
Okay.
opposed to 100 versus which is basically it's low vibrational versus high vibration.
But you think that
So
would
low
be,
vibration would be 100.
Negativity mind and,
Yeah.
versus positivity.
Yeah. So basically, yeah.
based on our culture set as a black folks, you think that would be highly possible? I mean, you can get away with 1 and 2 individuals, but for a magnitude of people like that, 100 to unite like that, especially in the black
that'd be a
culture,
beautiful thing, but given
it's sad to say, but
given our own human history, it's not it could be possible, but given our own human history, most likely it's not because of egos, insecurities, unrealistic expectations. The list goes on and on. To where that necessarily, like I said, it would be a beautiful thing. It probably can be accomplished if you had, the right mindset within those 200 people. But unfortunately, necessarily, like I feel the same way. It's a very low percentage of people that are willing to work together, especially from different cultural backgrounds. Because that's going to be a big clash.
I mean, I agree, especially from
Yeah.
the black culture.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be, absolutely
It's
right.
not supposed to be, put it
it's
that
not
way.
supposed to
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just, and it's one of the things I'm praying and hope that our culture, especially our black culture, is just.
Praying and open is not going to do it. They've been praying and open forever.
I mean,
When the ships went
it's a
to
figure of
Africa, they were praying and hoping that something would happen.
it's a figure of speech because we have to do something. It's just like coming back to it, where God will help those that help themselves, right?
Right,
So
right.
it's a figure of speech, but in the sense of if we don't do anything, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not going to happen. So
It's a novel idea, and like you said, I thought that was a great video. I saw that video this morning, and I just think that's a great idea. It might not happen, but it's a good idea to have.
I would do it
because
in segments
sets you-
instead of that magnitude of people. I would say, all right, you know what, 5 here and 5 there. I think
Yeah.
they would be more responsive to do that much magnet because you have all types of ego collections, intellect colliding with emotions, all
No,
of that
not
stuff.
if you have structure, right? All right. So, for example, what's his name? Berkshire Hathaway, right? Which is Warren Buffett's
Warren Buffett.
company,
Buffett
right?
said, yeah.
All right. So you were asking the question earlier, where do people pensions get invested?
Right.
So Warren Buffett runs a hedge fund company,
Mhm.
right? So the teachers' pension funds, right? Firefighter pension funds, the police or NYPD, the pension
That's all
funds.
administered on the Berkshire Hathaway?
Right. All of that
Huh.
gets invested in Berkshire Hathaway, right? And from the fund started till now, they said what? They return like what? Like a 500,000% or something like that return.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Or a 5 million. Let me go. Huh?
This
Yeah,
is
but
Buffett, man.
that's structured. So not because your pension is included, you can go to the meeting and say, hey, I don't like the idea that you're investing in Google because Jeff is so and so and so.
Yeah.
Or I don't like the idea that you're invested in whatever company you dislike, right? You're not allowed. You could always, I guess, take your funds and go somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
GPT.
Yeah, you can opt out. Actually,
So
I stand corrected. Warren Buffett will be that might be a good rich person.
I like that.
That's my
That's a
people's right
perspective.
there.
Yeah, Warren Buffett's
That's my
different.
exactly.
He's a different. It's funny. I
Thanks,
wasn't
Mike,
thinking of
for
him, but
enlightenment.
when Mike had mentioned him, Warren Buffett is not. He's not your average.
Jeff
billionaire.
Bezos.
Him
He's
and
not your average
Greenspan.
billionaire.
Jeff Bezos.
Nah, Bezos is evil, bro.
No.
He just looks evil.
Between him and Greenspan, I mean, I don't really fond of Greenspan too much,
Who?
but
Warren Greenspan?
yeah,
But he's bought and paid for.
but Buffett and those guys, they up those
Oh,
alleys.
so sorry. Correction. 5.5 million %.
5.5. Look at that.
$1,000,000%.
Look at that.
since 1965.
You know, Buffett still lives in the same house that he bought for
Yeah,
27
Mike was talking
for
about
$27,000 that he bought like 60 years ago.
Wow.
He still lives in the same
He's
house.
still in the same house.
Still lives in the same
Guy's
house.
a
Can you believe that, Mike?
sharpshooter. He's a sharpshooter.
Right. But
No.
he's
And he
like
was-
a value investor. He doesn't buy now and then sell after. He's like someone came up with the idea of Visa card, Visa Master, and he'll sit down with his team
Mhm.
and they'll talk to whoever the CEO is or the founder of the company,
Yeah.
and they'll give them a vision, like, long term. Look at it.
Yeah.
What do you think? I'll be like, yeah. His biggest investment was in mobile, right? Apple.
Really?
And he made like a killing off Apple. Like a lot of
That
money.
was like in the mid.
So his thing is long-term investments. That's
Right.
what he. That's what
It's
he.
called-
That's
it's
what he
called
looks into.
valued investment,
Yeah.
right? Or valued investing.
Knowledge is power.
So he said he sat down and he said, once upon a time he used to have to like go down to Wall Street to tell the broker or say I need such and such amount of stocks, right?
Yeah.
And you can't just sell it right away when you want to sell it. You have to go there and talk to them and so on. But now with technology and mobile, you're able to do it on your phone, and there's
Immediately.
a lot more participating in the market. So he said when he thought about that, he's like, that's a good idea. So he
Yeah.
put like probably like 50% of the funds into that. And the funds was like what? Like probably like 500 billion or something like that.
Wow.
500 billion. Let me get the correct number.
500 billion or 500 million.
Billion.
Probably billion.
So that means that he had a bunch of people put that money together. Then.
Yeah, guys, teachers funds.
Yeah.
Police funds.
Police-
all these
Oh,
teachers.
so
all
these
these-
different
yeah.
funds that he had.
Right.
Okay.
Invested in his company. So like Harvard would invest with him. A next college, this college, whoever is trying to make money long term and not trying to make.
So he would
money
do like a co-op of investors. And
Jay
that's how he'd be
Z,
able to
all
pull
those
up the money,
people.
yeah.
And every year we would give them a return of what, anywhere between 20 to 10%.
Look at that, 10 to 20% return every year.
Right.
That's good. So that means even if say if they invested $100 million, that means that every year they get back 10 to 20 million dollars in dividends.
Easy.
That's beautiful.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that is. No, and that's dividends. That means it's going to keep coming until it stops coming.
My
So
head.
that's
Is,
like what, a $20 million return?
my head is about
for
to
$100
explode
million.
here.
Why? With all those numbers? Well, no, I don't know. That's why I picked Mike's brain because I haven't really. I want to say recently, maybe within the last 2 years, I got into investment. And the only reason I got into it because some chick I knew told me to download Robinhood. And then when I downloaded it, that's when I started messing. And I wasn't even messing with it when I first got it. I started messing with Robinhood. I don't deal with Acorns. I don't deal with it. I just deal with Robinhood.
The funniest thing is that Mike, I was having
Like I'm also on the crypto, but I'm still learning. Like I said, like Mike knows, I buy all the crap, but I'm still learning as I go along.
Knowledge is power.
I trying to get involved too, and which is I'm still not. It's just sometimes when every time Mike here, sometimes we get into other stuff and just get distracted and stuff like that. But it's something I want to get in because I have what was that app again?
Robinhood.
I have it ready set up on my account. It's just for Mike now to show me how to.
It's
do it.
super easy to
But
use.
here's the thing, which I share with Mike.
I'd rather use them than Coinbase.
Yes. So I got the accurate numbers, right? So his personal net worth is 169 billion.
Oh, Warren Buffett.
Yeah, his
Nah.
personal net worth. And Berkshire Hathaway is 1.1 trillion.
That's insane.
Who?
Berkshire Hathaway, they have $1.1 trillion in assets. That's a lot.
That's a lot of buildings. That's a
Genius.
lot of
Hotels.
hotels.
They own
that's a lot of-
insurance companies too, like
Insurance.
Geico, all these
Realty.
things.
But you know what company has the biggest in assets, right? They have $10 trillion in assets.
That's all state.
No, that's BlackRock.
BlackRock. I thought they beat
BlackRock
Allstate.
has no. Remember, BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. They're all the same people. They hold $10 trillion in global $10 trillion in global assets.
I just need 0.5% of that.
It's hard to even process that.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember, BlackRock.
How many trillion?
What is it? $10.1 trillion in global assets for BlackRock.
That's a lot of numerals.
Remember, BlackRock. That's what do you call it? That's Larry Fink. Larry Fink is the CEO of BlackRock. Yes, Larry, I know who you are.
Yes.
You're not slick.
Give thanks.
I don't even know what George Soros has his hands in. George Soros probably has his hands in a lot of things too.
I'm gonna start having my hands in a lot of things.
Huh? I only wish I can get up. I only wish I can get up to that level of villainy.
BlackRock market
that's not a
capitalization
prideful
offers
What?
refers to as
prideful
net worth.
thing.
It's approximately 151 billion.
Huh?
It's 151 billion.
151 billion.
Yeah.
What?
Billion as of its assets. From May 27, this represents a significant increase from the market up to 904 billion, 0.10 billion in October 1st, 1999. So they are 151 billion.
No, that's just in one asset. Altogether, they
It says
global.
BlackRock right here.
Yeah, but you got to remember, you want to
BlackRock market capitalization offers. That's generalizing everything.
But that's just BlackRock.
Listen.
You want to look up BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. They're all the three.
But the BlackRock should cover. Well,
remember, that's all the three.
No,
So remember, they have their
remember
breakdown.
BlackRock owns like
They own everything.
everything.
right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I isolated. I said BlackRock. I didn't say BlackRock Insurance or BlackRock
Yeah,
this or
no,
Black.
just- yeah, that's
I
just
said
BlackRock by
BlackRock. So
itself.
it should come back with everything under the umbrella.
Because you got to remember, they have to break it down that way. The reason why they break it, you got to remember BlackRock. If you really think of it, they broke the top three BlackRock. Where you got BlackRock, you got State Street, you got Vanguard. They're all owned by the same consortium of people. Those three companies own about 180 other corporations throughout the world.
Mm-hmm.
But what it is, they can't add it all together, because if you add it all together, then it's going to be an antitrust.
They can
It's gonna be a
create.
monopoly.
They can create sub. It's called sub. What do they call it again? So
Well,
you can have a company
but-
within under another company, but it's just
So
like,
basically, collectively, BlackRock is basically the umbrella corporation. Remember Resident Evil?
mhm,
BlackRock is the umbrella corporation, which is the parent
the
company.
parent company
And
of
then
all,
the 180 companies underneath that, which are also very big
which
companies.
is the same thing. I'm
Are they
saying,
subsidiaries?
The subsidiaries.
Now, when I say BlackRock and affiliated companies, they have a $10.1 trillion net worth. That means that's all those companies involved. And mind you, you got to remember, companies like Nestle. Nestle's a huge company.
Mhm.
That's a
been
subsidiary of
around.
BlackRock. You understand?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Cargill. These are all the people that make like Cargill. Cargill makes they make like cooking oil. They make products,
Oh,
like
okay.
things like that. You got to remember they're big into oil. So basically,
No, BlackRock is big though. BlackRock have their hand in everything.
they're huge.
Everything.
In everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
they have their hands in everything. Like
Everything.
they really are, And then Larry Fink is the head of that. Larry Fink is the CEO of BlackRock. Well, like I said, it's a consortium of people. He might just be the figurehead. So what it is, he's probably just the talking head. There's guys behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Look, like George Soros, perfect example. George Soros, I mean, we know who he is because they've exposed him, but George Soros was lurking in the shadows for a long time. So now the fact that they exposed him, most likely, allegedly. So basically, now that he's exposed, that means that there's somebody else bigger than George Soros.
Who is that?
I have no idea. We'll never know.
Yeah.
And
So-
if we do know, then most likely the CIA become looking for us.
The biggest company in the world, or the richest company in the world, guess who it is?
Oh,
Hold on. Let me tell you.
what? BlackRock?
No.
No.
It's
a
not in
tech
the US.
company. I'm going to
It's
give
not-
it to you.
yeah, I
It's
know.
in the US.
It's in the US?
Yes.
So that threw me off then.
It's a tech company.
Tech company?
Yeah.
If he said he's in the US, it threw me
Let's
off.
see. Tech. Oracle. Oracle's not necessarily.
I
a
just
tech
said it.
company.
Mobile.
Mobile? Oh, Apple.
Wait, how does
Apple.
stand? How does
It's a
Apple stand?
It's a $3 trillion company.
In the world, or are you talking about just
Wait,
in the US?
Apple is a
In the
$3 trillion
world.
company?
It's the biggest company in the world. It's the
Wow.
best-
What Apple is?
Apple's
Yeah.
$3 trillion.
Yeah, after they're
Apple.
ripping
Yeah.
people off, you're going to go to China and build a phone for $10.
See, and then if you
$10
check,
and come over
but
here
see, look,
selling
I
for
believe that. You know why?
1,500.
But then if you check, see, like BlackRock has a piece of Apple.
They
Yeah.
probably own piece of
Yeah.
it.
They have a piece of everything. So BlackRock would have a piece of Apple.
And that's why I said Warren Buffett had like half of Berkshire Hathaway funds in Apple.
Yeah.
Half of $1 trillion.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Dude, you guys are talking these numbers, and as what Angel said over
Right,
there,
right,
I just
I
can't
can't
process.
As a matter of fact, Waiting it took over that top spot as of
Who that?
me. As of now, Microsoft.
As of May,
Microsoft took over the top spot.
How does
For what?
Amazon-
For the
how
richest
does
company?
Amazon-
Yeah.
how does
It's
Amazon
3.3
pair up with them?
trillion.
Oh, it's not
How
Amazon? I
does-
thought it would have been Amazon.
How does
No,
Amazon
it
pair up
was
with them?
Apple. It's been Apple for the longest.
Really?
Apple was there for a while, yeah,
Right.
definitely. I remember when they
And
first went to the big-
Microsoft just because Apple's been receiving like bad news.
So what?
And that's
what's-
crazy that
what-
Microsoft-
what's Amazon's ranking with that?
Amazon,
They're probably like top 3, top 5.
they're like top five. So you have like you have what? Microsoft, Apple, you have Nvidia, you have Google, you have Amazon. Yeah. So
What about
Amazon's
Oracle?
in the mix.
What about Oracle?
Right.
Oracle is up there, but
No.
it's not
Oracle,
top.
They fall off the plateau from early.
That's Larry
2000s.
Ellison, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Early 2000, they fall off the plateau.
Well, they didn't necessarily fall off. I think they went behind the scenes because they've been. I'm like, yeah,
Amazon?
they fell off from the spotlight.
What do you
But they
think
still
about-
that's
generating
what-
a lot of more
I
money.
mean, they still generating money because
Yeah.
most of these high
So
level
Amazon is like
system
2.0.
that's running out there is still running on Oracle and it's still running on Linux and all of these
Yeah.
stuff there. So it's just not coming out. When you hear someone talk, a developer would talk, or someone will talk about a website database or hosting on a back end. You're not. It's there. Oracle most likely is there, or Linux or Unix
Yeah.
is there, but you don't hear it coming out. You would hear like Microsoft or
Yeah.
or these other products.
Wow,
These
so
backends.
Microsoft is built. Wow, because that means they've become. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's a lot of stuff.
I didn't know they were gonna reach it because I remember
Office wise, I'm like, we all work in an office. I'm like, if you really think of it,
I thought it would have been Microsoft.
yeah. I'm like, office wise, if you think of
They
it,
would probably reach there somewhere down the line, but I didn't know they reached there now.
if you think of it, like 90% of our stuff, like just on our work computers, is all
It's
Microsoft.
Microsoft.
As far
Yeah,
as,
they were like
Microsoft-
that and
yeah.
still, but they still wasn't dominating. It's just because
No, it wasn't.
Apple started falling apart in the sense
Now
of
it was Microsoft and Nvidia.
Microsoft was there before. No,
Yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah,
Microsoft and Intel. Nvidia came and started dominating the market and put Intel on the back burner for now. I mean, they still make.
Intel been on the back burner. I don't-
Right.
What are you
A long
talking
time-
about?
It got surpassed a long
Yeah,
time
Intel
ago.
is-
Dude, when
been
you're
on
in
the
your
back burner.
diapers, Intel was running the show.
Intel is. Go look at Intel stock.
But I think
I'm
what
not
it is,
saying
Yo,
this
Intel is
is
like
what
the
I just
worst.
said.
no, but I think with Microsoft went more so commercial to where Apple is more so residential. Because if you notice, Apple products, this is more personal. We don't necessarily use Apple for business.
Right,
Right,
right.
it's-
We use,
it's more
Microsoft for
Microsoft,
business.
right.
You know what I
Listen,
mean?
Makes
When
sense.
Nvidia started dominate the market right after Barack went into his first term. That's when Nvidia started shining, started about to shine. This is when
No, we agree,
Intel,
but Intel
started stepping
Intel is
back.
like a
Intel was
worst
making
company in
You
the
know,
stock
but-
market. They even
right,
got
you
kicked
know-
out the S&P
no, but
500.
on trading,
Yeah.
yes, I would. So
No, not on trading.
they
Company.
make the best let me ask you a question.
Wait, I
Let
thought
me ask you
Intel
a
belonged to
question.
Microsoft. Intel doesn't belong to Microsoft?
no.
No,
It's
no,
its
no,
own
no,
Yeah, well,
it's a
it
different-
got
it's a- it's a-
obsolete
it's a-
though.
what?
Yeah, Intel.
Oh, it's its
How
own
is that
entity.
different?
So we
What,
are
you see
right
this?
now,
No,
top-
hold on.
top
You
three.
see
Top
this? What?
three.
Hold on.
Microsoft,
Time
Nvidia,
out.
Apple.
Brother
Top
man,
three.
Right.
brother man, take it easy. Right now, what's running in this? Everything if you go and buy even a new computer now, I send you $1,500, $2,000 or whatever gaming machine. 9 out of 10 is an Intel chip.
No, Mike.
So who
Let's
took that
bet
over?
because you let's bet.
Wait, but
But
I thought
This is my world.
I thought Intel was owned by Microsoft.
This is my world. This is
This is why he doesn't have a stand, so he can grab his mic.
So
and
check
just-
this out, right? Just common sense, right? We're
All
gonna
right.
use common sense. So on
It's
the
not
stock
everybody
market,
says it's
right?
common.
On the stock market,
All right.
you have companies that are worth trillions of dollars.
Yes.
Intel is not one of those companies, right?
Really?
So you have
I thought
$1 trillion
this whole time
company.
They
You
were owned
have
by Microsoft.
Nvidia. You got Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta. All these companies are $1 trillion.
$1 trillion.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So if if Wayne was doing so good, Intel, wouldn't Intel be up there?
Yes.
Intel is not even a part of the S&P 500.
Here's
So the S&P 500 is structured, or it's set up a way where if you're not performing, they
Okay.
remove you and replace it with someone, with a company that is performing.
Okay.
They kick Intel out of the S&P 500.
So who took Intel's place? Like, I guess if that, oh my God.
I would say who took Intel's place is Palantir, or in the S&P 500, but Nvidia and AMD definitely took their place. Cause they did this. They do the same thing.
And
They
that's-
make
what you said, AMD?
semiconductors. Yeah,
Okay.
semiconductors, which are chips, right?
Okay.
Chips in
Yeah.
phone, cars, you name it, microchips.
Okay.
So people just talk and speculate and assume.
No, the
You see,
numbers don't lie, though.
Okay. So here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Having a good or having poor stock market, all right, or poor stock doesn't mean that you're making bad products.
Yeah.
It could based on mean is different scenarios. It could be different situation where they're not producing correctly, they're making poor decision, but it has nothing to do with the quality of the product, right?
Okay.
So at the end of the day, as I said before, you go out and you go to any computer store, Best Buy, Dell, forget about Dell, Best Buy, Micro Center, any electronic store,
Yeah.
and pick up a machine, even Apple right now, you pick up an Apple machine or a Windows machine, 9.5 out of that is an Intel processor running in there.
So
9.9.
why
No,
Intel
I-
market cap?
Hold on.
10.
Why Intel market cap is
You still got- you still got
89.6
Again,
you still got
billion?
It has
Why?
nothing to do with their product. It may have to do with their management skill, their marketing skill, or even poor decision what they make it in the firm. It has
Mike.
nothing to do with
You
it.
got superseded
Mike, this
by
is what I
AMD.
bred on. This is what I grow up on. This is where I go to school for. Intel is the best
Google
processor.
it. Google it.
My machine. You have a Google. You have a machine there. You have a machine there.
I did.
And what?
But think about it.
You see,
Check
you
this out.
also
No, hold on.
compare-
And
You're
who
comparing
owns
a
AMD?
video.
This is
That's
this
Intel?
If
This
it's
is
a-
Intel, right? A empty bottle, right? This is AMD
Right,
and
well,
this is Nvidia,
If
right?
Intel was so popular,
Literally, this is how the companies are right
Oh,
now.
that's Nvidia. So Nvidia's top dog.
No,
now.
no. Hold on. I'm gonna.
Yes,
let
I
me
know.
enlighten you. Let me enlighten
No,
you. So-
Mine-
no,
mine-
because
I
it's
didn't
spread
interrupt you, no.
propaganda.
I didn't
Okay,
interrupt,
I mean,
right?
let me
Intel
back
is
up.
valuated at about $90 billion, right?
Right, right.
So it would have been in the $1 trillion category. Had it been
Thank
that
you,
good.
Angel. Thank you. Thank you.
It's not.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You
If they're
can't-
selling more products,
you
right?
right.
They should be making more money.
Absolutely.
Tell
Case
me-
in point.
They should be making more money.
Tell me when you guys.
Like, I think you guys do your research.
I'm telling you when I'm done.
No, because he got
I'm
redundant.
keeping my-
Justin,
I
you
get-
get what I'm saying?
I
Yeah.
keep in my shield. I keep in my
It got
corner.
redundant. It got obsolete. It got superseded when AMD came out.
Thank
That's
you.
It. So it's not as useful because now you can do more for less.
So do the computers still have an Intel chip in there or no?
Let me ask
They
you a
do.
question. So
They
let me
do.
share this.
Yes,
let me
but they
share.
also got
Let me share this.
competitors.
Exactly.
Okay.
You see, just contradicting themselves. Every machine, I wouldn't say every. As I said, 9.5%. If you're going by, I give you $1,500.
Is there a screw in every computer?
What?
Do I have it?
Is there a screw in every
Of
computer?
course, there's a screw in the computer. What? I can open this right now in front of you. Right, we're gonna have a tech show, and you go get your machine.
No,
what you
we're
have at home,
agreeing.
and
We're
we open-
agreeing.
But
We're
listen what I'm
agreeing.
saying. You're not comprehending what I'm saying. It doesn't mean that because the company are making poor decisions, right? Management wise, marketing wise, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't depict that the product itself, what they produce,
100 billion
is
more than
less, or it's
What-
what. Number two.
Mike got the live data right
Number
here.
two.
I didn't want
Number-
to contradict you. I
hold
don't want
on.
to cut you off.
Number two is that NVIDIA is not a processor it's a video processor, not a microprocessor. Every machine needs a microprocessor. You can do without
That's
NVIDIA,
NVIDIA.
right? You can do without an NVIDIA.
3.3 trillion. for NVIDIA.
So you see what I just showed you. This is
Because all these gaming
Intel.
heads, that's all they buy these machines for.
Intel.
Because
This is
NVIDIA,
AMD and this is
this is
NVIDIA.
NVIDIA.
Okay, so it's,
Every one of
$3.3
these kids.
billion dollars.
So
I
it's
like you
A-
try
so
to
it's-
strike him down right
so is
now.
AMD
Try to strike him down right there.
so is AMD.
AMD
there-
is not like another Intel. They produce.
So that's their
processors.
direct competitor.
So
Then.
guess
All
what?
right.
Guess
So
what?
let me
Guess what? Here's the
let me
thing.
show you the data, right?
Here's
So
here's the
NVIDIA.
thing.
This is NVIDIA, right? 3.1.
Here's the thing.
3.3 trillion.
All right.
Okay.
What's in your car that makes it move? The main aspect in your car
The
to
engine.
make it move. Okay,
and
NVIDIA.
computerized chips.
NVIDIA is like what I can use it is your wiring, right?
That's AMD.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, that's a big difference. And then what's Intel? AMD is only worth 185.75.
AMD is crap.
And finish that thought.
Because
Drum roll, please.
AMD is
Drum
crap.
roll.
No, finish
And
that.
then Intel.
Finish that thought.
The process- literally.
the engine.
Damn.
Literally,
Intel's only worth 89 billion. I'm
literally,
saying only. Like,
Literally.
that's a lot.
AMD
So
processor.
Intel, AMD, NVIDIA.
NVIDIA. But you said NVIDIA's just video?
Based on
See,
volume, based on volume.
when you lack of knowledge.
Uh-huh.
If you have these game goon heads out there, right? This
Okay.
is why one of the things why Nvidia is selling, because you have these goon heads out there buying it. A lot of people are buying.
Okay,
these-
so let
hold
me
on,
get this
tell
right.
you. A lot of people these kids are buying these gaming machine, and this is where they outshining Intel and AMD. Now, Intel, you don't have that, it can't work. You could have all this NVIDIA. Ask them too. You could have all the NVIDIA in that machine. It will never boot up. It will never work. Because what? It needs Intel.
Is that
Right?
compatible?
Intel also have its own video source, which is makes you what you see on the screen right now.
Okay.
That's also a processor which is Intel can utilize that, can support that. Yes, you have these NVIDIA where they have also independent video source.
Okay.
This is what the gaming geniuses them, they use it out there where they build machines to test game and also to play game. They're buying these products more for the last 10 years. So because of that, NVIDIA spikes up, right? But at the same time, if you don't
All right.
have an Intel in that machine,
Okay, so
it
what-
will never work.
Okay, so basically NVIDIA and
It's
Intel,
a video processor machine.
but so they're not direct competitors.
No, they're not competitors. It's night and day.
Who's
They're
not
night and
competitors?
day.
No, I'm saying they're
No, I'm
not
saying
direct
they're not
competitors because they
They're
don't
night and day.
they don't provide the same service.
I'm
One
building an
provides
engine.
video.
I'm building an engine
So-
for a car.
so
one
you're
provides
building,
video.
You're building tires.
One provides video. One provides.
Processor, meaning for the engine for the car to move. So you have one building an engine
Okay, so what's the direct competitor
and one
of
building a windshield.
Intel?
Put it this
Right,
way. One
that's
building
What
a
is the
windshield.
direct competitor of Intel?
NVIDIA and
AMD.
AMD.
AMD's higher though.
Both companies.
AMD.
Both,
AMD.
three of them do the same thing.
No, they're not.
Check this out. So
No, but
No,
he's
they
telling me
don't.
NVIDIA's video. That's what
NVIDIA
he's telling me.
supports video.
he could talk all he wants about this is his field.
Okay.
Tech is what I sleep, eat,
All right.
breathe, and drink, right? Check this out.
He just came up
All
the
right,
other day.
so if
breathing
NVIDIA's a
this.
video processor, who is their direct competitor? I need to know the company of the. Who is the direct competitor of NVIDIA?
They on their own.
Let me
They're
tell you.
independent.
Let me tell
They
you.
don't have nobody to compete.
You know
with
what a
them.
competitor is?
So if that's the case, then
Nobody
that means-
out there can.
You know
then
who's
that
a
means that they're
competitor?
Intel's-
Exactly. That's why they're so supreme. Nobody out there can come. Only AMD and Intel.
How can
has
it be
the com-
supreme?
Then I guess they fall on that. They fall
Right.
on that.
That's why
waterfall.
they're so there. That's why they're up on top, because nobody is there to compete with them. AMD would do a little thing.
If they're
what
supreme,
is
the
it?
company
Intel
would reflect
will do a
that. The
little
company
thing.
But
does not
NVIDIA
reflect
does it
that.
all.
But they does it all. They make
but
those
sure.
high
It
class
would always
video cards.
it would've
where
seemed like a monopoly.
I
It
just
would've been
bought
a
a video
monopoly.
card
All right.
recently for my production machine.
Okay.
$1,500. And these are the money they're spending at the end of the day, because you want good and you want to process good. I mean, you have heavy duty like 4K video.
I mean, if that's the case, then it sounds like
Exactly,
NVIDIA's
and
top.
that's what I'm trying
No, but
to
it
tell
sounds
him.
like NVIDIA's top dog.
You
then,
can't
because-
touch NVIDIA because there's nobody else there to compete with them.
Okay, no Intel processors are not found in every computer, while Intel processors are widely used in various types of computers, including desktops, laptops, and servers. They are not
This guy,
universally
this guy
present.
debunking hard right now.
They have the heart of all the machines out there is Intel in there.
Let me
The
tell
heart
you.
of
Let me
them.
tell you something. You see, Intel,
All right.
Intel they design chips and they also make them. TSM, which is Taiwan Semiconductor, they make them. That's all they do.
They don't design them.
They don't design
They
them.
just make them.
Right.
Okay.
So that's a competitor to Intel, which is eating Intel food, right? Because it costs less to produce a chip or purchase a chip from design a chip
Okay.
and purchase a chip from TSM, right?
Taiwan's.
So AMD and NVIDIA, they buy chips from Taiwan.
All right.
So Intel lost that business, right?
Intel lost that bus.
They lost that business. Apple
'Cause
used to
Taiwan makes
buy
those
chips
superconductor chips or whatever.
from Intel. They stopped. They started designing their own chips.
They still do. They're just not buying it out
They
in a lot
stopped. They
anymore.
started designing their own chips.
Also, Apple designs their own chips.
Right.
Okay.
So you're gonna go to the competitor who's giving you a better deal, right? Which is Taiwan, TSM.
Yeah.
So
'cause they make the
everyone goes to
superconductor chips or
TSM
something,
now.
right?
Everyone goes to TSM.
What is that? Taiwan superconductor or something like that?
Semiconductor.
Semiconductor,
Right.
okay.
Because the chip is a semiconductor.
Yeah.
How much does TSM worth?
Way more than freaking Intel. Let's see.
As I explained to you, gentlemen,
Does every computer work with a screw?
as I explained to you,
Does every computer have a screw? Does every computer have a screw?
870 billion. Damn.
Almost $1 trillion.
So that they basically these companies took the place of Intel. Intel
Yeah.
used to be top
Yeah.
dog,
Used to
and
be.
these
But
companies
they got,
took the
they
place.
got lazy.
and I
They
wasn't
got
debunking
lazy.
it. And I wasn't debunking it. I said
Yeah.
that the first thing came out of my
They
mind.
lack
Yeah.
research.
Intel used to be the top dog.
Yeah.
No, they still make awesome product. The problem with them, which I can fabulate in my mind,
All right.
my research is that their poor management and how they go about doing business to get their stuff out there back on the market. However, the irony in this is that 90% of machines out there, which I just look up and I conclude what I'm saying, 90% of the machine out there, whether it's old or new, has Intel chip in there, processors in there. You cannot work that computer without an Intel processor or an AMD. NVIDIA, if you put it 9 billion of them in a machine, it will never start. It cannot run on its own.
Show me where you see Intel on that list. You have to
Here,
you have
you
to
see,
be
he's
talking
still going back into stocks. I am not debunking what you're saying when it comes to the stocks.
Not, Mike,
Oh, he's actually not looking at the stocks. He's looking at
Well,
the net
no,
worth.
I'm saying for them
the
to
market
dominate.
cap, the market cap of each company, right?
I mean, from what it looks like Intel used to be the top dog, and they
They
are no
used to be.
and they are no
They was
longer
top dog.
and they are no longer the top dog.
No.
It looks like the top dog now is Nvidia.
NVIDIA is the top graphic cards.
Is the
So-
top graphic card.
Right.
Okay.
They cannot, there's nobody to compete with them.
Okay.
They out there by themselves. They in a class by themselves.
Far away
So
with the competition.
So at the end of the day, for them to compete with Intel is a waste of time because Intel doesn't produce. The only thing they produce,
It's like
they
salt
have
and
they
sugar.
have this little video
From 1995 until 2025.
they have these video chips where they put on the motherboard,
Wow, they-
right?
Well, they lost value.
That would
in
give you
2025.
also
Yeah, they dropped a lot.
peaked
that would
in
give
like
you also
96,
video
2000.
to your screen so you can see what happened.
All right.
I think Intel has lived out is all.
No, I understand. I understand.
Intel has lived out
Look,
its
I
benefits,
understand
man.
both sides. I understand that there is an Intel chip in every computer, but unfortunately,
not true. That's
but
not true.
unfortunately,
That's not true.
No,
Intel,
it's not in every computer.
Intel,
It's not in
well,
every
in 90% of computers.
Yes,
okay?
90%.
Okay,
I know
but
that they
but
came
but
from,
also, but to
Saudi.
side with Mike, they used to be the top dog. They're
And
not
that's
the
what I
top
said.
dog
They're
anymore.
not the top dog anymore, but they're big still.
But that's
good
all he was
pro-
trying to prove.
But what I'm saying, I said, Mike, not because they're not the top dog, they still make good product. This is what I'm preaching from day one we
No,
started.
don't say
You-
top
I mean,
dog.
you
You know
got-
what?
you-
Who's
you
a
pretty
top
sad.
dog?
Okay, so let me rephrase.
You know who's a
Mike.
top dog?
The top dog is the top dog.
Who?
Wait, top dog.
The
you
video is the top dog.
You know that commercial.
Microsoft
The top
is the
dog.
top dog.
You whatever you call you want, you come to the top dogs. Oh well, no free advisement. No, don't go to the top dogs. Don't go to the top dogs.
the top dog is
Look at
King Trump.
Look at wait in the
Nvidia.
Oh,
chart. Look at
Wow.
that chart.
look,
Wait a minute. So they just went up.
It plateaued.
Wait, so and
2006,
that's
2014,
crazy. So why is it out of nowhere? Out of nowhere, they just skyrocketed.
Look at the trajectory
Better product.
right here, though. Look at that.
Better product.
And then Intel is the opposite. Look at it.
Ah, there you go.
Look at it.
No,
There you go.
but okay, now I'm okay. How did that happen? Because that looks damn near impossible.
Intel is lazy, man. They I don't know what they're doing over there. Check this out.
What, they stopped being innovative? They stopped having ideas, or
that's what
something
it is.
happened.
Bad management.
Honestly,
They
and that's
Okay.
you see, coming back to I
Bad
just
management.
said that.
All right.
Early on, I
You
said
did
one
say it.
problem.
You did say it.
Yes,
You did say it.
If
One
Elon
thing
took
with
over
them-
Intel would be going.
oh, of course, we know that.
the problem. with
Everything Elon touches is gold.
Something happened with Intel when it
biased.
comes to
You're biased.
management. When it comes to
I don't
management,
trust Elon for shit.
Something
but
happened with them.
I gotta give him.
They screwed up whole time because, as I said, they used to be the big dog from the 80s right up until the 90s,
got
mid 90s.
complacent.
They used to be big dog. They started falling off when Nvidia and AMD, actually AMD first started coming out. AMD started challenging them.
Yeah, they started
and
getting-
they slipped on it because they thought, oh, we're the big dogs. We've been around here for 9 billion years.
Well, that's your
You-
mindset.
You,
What
you
you saying
can't,
about
you
them?
can't, you can't touch us.
You remember when Nokia was a big deal? Nokia was a big deal.
Ah, check this out, right? Yes,
What, the
you know what? You
the
know what I like with
5150?
Right,
you know
right,
what?
5150.
The 5150 trap phone.
Yeah.
You know what I like with Samsung?
Ah.
Whatever Apple does, they copy.
They rep-
Who? Sam who?
Samsung.
Huh?
What are you talking
No.
about?
Vice versa.
Oh,
Vice versa.
You're in
Both
an
companies.
illusion or
No,
something,
listen,
dude?
listen,
No,
calm
it's
down.
whatever.
Everything, almost 90% what you have in an Apple phone is Samsung. It
Calm
runs
down.
by.
Calm down.
Yeah, I know, but it runs so much better than an
What-
Apple because
what I'm-
Samsung is crap.
What I'm saying is that the competition, one don't let the other gets too far.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
If they do something, they're like, okay, I'm
They
gonna
keep
do
it
that.
as a race.
Okay, so
It's
what?
like-
They
follow-
racing with
What
each other,
Nokia
right?
should have done, right? When
Uh-huh.
Apple went what you call this? Flat screen
Flat
or
screen.
keyboardless.
Yeah.
They should have done this. Did the same thing.
They should have waited that long.
Do the same thing.
Nokia.
Yeah, Nokia. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the BlackBerry thing, right?
Right.
No,
Yeah, that was
BlackBerry.
The BlackBerry. I mean,
right.
like Nokia. I mean, hold on a second.
BlackBerry.
BlackBerry was
They
crap.
should have did the same thing.
BlackBerry
Nokia is BlackBerry.
Yeah, BlackBerry was
It
more of
delayed
a
for a
business
while.
entity. See what Apple and Samsung came out. They came out to attack the both business market and personal market. Nokia.
Yeah, but do the
BlackBerry-
same thing. Don't let your competition go too far.
What's personal
Like
market?
Intel.
Huh?
What do you mean
Apple's personal.
market?
Apple's
Personal market, meaning that you and I, instead of corporation,
Apple's
buying
personal
it
market.
on their own.
Apple's
like,
definitely
you
BlackBerry
buy
was definitely
a couple
for
thousands
business.
for your employee. That's for business wise.
Even though BlackBerry Messenger
you
was
and I buy
popping.
one or two products, so that's what I'm referring to.
Yo, a lot
from
of
the
chicks on
business
BlackBerry
and personal.
Messenger, bro. BlackBerry Messenger was popping.
Oh yeah, that was the thing.
Have a BBM.
Have a what?
BBM, BlackBerry Messenger. Either that or Black
So-
Baby Mother.
Again,
Yo, back then. What
Check
was
this
it?
out.
Was it the two-way page when the two-way page came out?
to finalize
I ain't know
everything,
email was
Yeah.
good.
read that.
Yeah, that's
All right,
that
so
was
main CPU, the core processor in most computers responsible for running the operating system and applications is typically a single chip from Intel or AMD.
Thank you. If you go down below,
AMD's
So
worth
AMD's
AMD's worth more though now.
yeah,
They're like double.
What I'm saying is that this
Double.
is if you
More than
see the
double.
graphic cards that come in now. You see where
Yeah.
what's the name come in place? They are independent. They are night and day. They don't
Okay.
have nothing to do with Intel, and Intel have nothing
Yeah,
to do with
all
it.
right.
but
Now-
Mike, think about it. This is Tesla stock chart, right?
Mhm.
Look at the percent return. It's like 29,000. It's 29,000, right? 29,000%. Intel, in this day and age, right? Artificial intelligence is a thing, right? Semi. Intel is so huge. They manufacture the chips and they design them. NVIDIA, they only design chips. They don't make them. So Intel has the advantage. They're doing something completely wrong over there.
Something. I mean, Mike, I'm
Guys,
on your
you
same.
make the water bottle, right? And you also provide
the
or
liquid
pour the
inside of
liquid that's inside of it. NVIDIA and AMD, they don't do that. They purchase the container from TSM.
Okay.
But they're the
They
one
design them.
who
They
come
design
up
it.
with the what you call it, the ingredients
Yeah.
for the
So
whatever
Intel-
is inside.
So Intel basically is all in house. That's a more one-stop shop because
Yeah.
they're doing everything themselves.
Yeah.
to where AMD and Nvidia
They're-
is
they-
outsourcing.
Right. They're relying on TSM.
I don't know how they fall off and why they fall off, and they shouldn't fall
But
off.
you realize that you fall off and you're still not doing anything to change
You know
it.
what? I'm gonna tell you exactly why
Poor
they fell off.
management, bad management.
Do you know
We
why
need to
they
make
fell
you the
off?
CEO, you know.
Do you know why they fell off?
Exactly. Thank you.
I'm gonna tell you exactly why they fell off. You know why they fell off?
Why they fell
Because
off?
they didn't support Trump. That's why.
Man, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, no, but think about it. Think about it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If they're a major supporter of Trump, what do you think Trump would have did when he took presidency?
But he went in the presidency in 2016, right?
No, I'm saying if he was a major supporter of Trump,
If they
what do
were
you
a
think-
major supporter, I know some criminal business they would pull up and maybe
Can you
get
stop
intel-
that?
What you mean with
and
criminal
get-
business?
and get
He
intel
doesn't do
back up
criminal
on track.
business. He only does the greatest business ever.
Criminal business.
No, he doesn't. It's the greatest business ever. Everything he does is huge. It's better than everybody else's.
Whoa, this is you. Oh, a great, beautiful bill is coming out soon. It's great and beautiful. My beautiful bill.
He is such-
bill.
he
My
is such a
beautiful
closet- he is-
bill. I want
Mike, he
all
is such,
Congress
he is
support
such a
my
closet
beautiful
Trump supporter.
bill.
It's ridiculous. He might as
My
well just.
bill.
He needs to come to
Bill.
grips. He's like a closet Trump supporter. He's like a secret Trump supporter.
My beautiful bill. I want you to see my sign, my beautiful bill today coming out. Bill.
The intelligent
Yo,
investors.
these guys are nuts, man.
Investors in the building.
Anyway, gentlemen, people, this was a fun moment. Please do your research. Please do your research.
do your own research.
Please, you do.
I'm
your
not a
research.
financial advisor, so don't take
Please
my
do your
word for it.
research.
Do your own research.
If you have any questions based on what we discussed today, do your research. You still can shout out to, what you call them again? Intelligent
The
investor.
intelligent investor.
You can ask your 2 cents.
Mr.
but
White.
At the same time, you still can do your research. The information is out there. Do your research and get your business going, and maybe one of these days you become rich and you can sponsor the garage.
And Mr.
You can own Intel.
Mr. White is sponsored by Mr. White is sponsored by Mercedes Benz, and
See,
he shoots 72 on the par.
Yeah. See,
PGA
we
Tour.
all, you see, this mic is all running on Intel processor here. You see all of that over there, all the lights. Intel right
No,
here.
it's not.
What-
This is
what-
all AMD, bro.
What are the
This is
on
all
dreaming.
AMD.
what are the endorsement?
This is all AMD. This
Yeah,
is brought to
Intel,
you.
listen out for that. You see, I'm still with you. I was with you from 1985, man. I'm still with you.
I mean, look. King Trump said he was going to buy Intel.
I'm about to take
So
all
hopefully
the
When
screws off
King
my
Trump
laptop.
when King Trump buys Intel, then Intel will be the greatest
you know what
chip
he's
company
gonna,
ever.
you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna buy it and demolish it. That's what he's gonna
right.
because in
Lift the hands like this. It's
yeah,
over. It's
he's
over.
like, I bought this company. I thought it was beautiful, but he's gotta go. It's gotta
No,
go.
he's gonna have what
It's gotta
they're
go.
gonna have.
It's gotta go.
They're gonna have
It's
Elon
not a
take it over.
beautiful-
They're gonna have Elon take it over, and they're gonna be the
Evil,
greatest company ever. Elon.
Elon is probably gonna revolutionize it. I mean, if he get it, I think. I mean,
Gina-
but
Gina's-
the problem is, it's just business wise management. There's nothing wrong with the devices.
Yeah.
It's just management. But
Yeah,
know,
probably
hopefully
more management.
they get their act
If they
together
got
and
a
stuff
strong
like that.
hold like that and they losing ground, something's
Yeah.
wrong. It's
Yeah.
internal.
Well,
definitely
folks,
internal.
it's that time again. We thank you again for joining us, taking the time out to spend some time with us here as we go through some discussion. And we trust and hope that next week you will join us again. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. We cannot do this without you as our supporters, and we continue asking you to support, spread the word. We have different topics we talk about. We have different shows. We're trying to come out with still our game show, but I'm waiting on management over there to
Yes.
pull it through. But we're gonna come through.
We're gonna put together something. Attention, all female postal workers in Westchester County, preferably shapely. We're trying to set up a mud wrestling tournament. Okay. So all my shapely women's, shapely only. And when I mean shapely, I mean shapely. I don't want no big backs, nothing like that. No pterodactyl backs, nothing like that. All my shapely girls, y'all know who you is.
Okay, this is stricken from this record.
If I harass you on Instagram, that means you're shapely.
What
We're
is
trying
that?
to set up a mud wrestling competition.
What is it? Cut the tape.
Okay, fellas, have a good night. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Peace.
Peace out.